Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first showing of It Is Real. I am your host tonight, and my name is Bill McFerrin. My co-host Ron Bagwell is on assignment tonight and will be with me next month for the next show. Tonight, we have a rare opportunity to see the newest autopsy film of a real alien. Also, in our studio tonight, we have a special guest. And before we show tonight's film clip, I'd like to ask him a few questions. Sir, I didn't have much time to talk to you before the show tonight. What should I be calling you this evening?
You could call me Mr. X.
Okay, Mr. X. Is your life really in danger tonight?
Yes, my life is very much in danger by exposing this film, and so is the lives of everyone involved with it, including the viewing audience.
So all of us are in danger tonight, is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Would you care to elaborate?
This is a highly sensitive government film, which I arranged to have smuggled off the military base. Anyone caught in possession or viewing this film is taking quite a risk with their life, and I think it pretty much explains itself.
Were you actually present during this autopsy?
And yes, I was present during the autopsy.
And you were there?
That's correct.
Are you going to be in this film tonight?
I am not in the film tonight.
Were you at the crash site?
Yes, I was in presence, and the first team to arrive at the crash site. That is correct.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about what you saw?
When we got to the crash site, we responded in about 45 minutes after the initial radar pickup. We found debris scattered on a hillside, and we found 2 alien bodies at the crash site.
Okay, I think with that, I think we should roll some film here. Our producer, Don, could you roll the film for us? Okay, it's quite a film. We'd like to invite callers right now to call in. We're going to be flashing the number up on our screen. We've got one line open. It's wide open. If you'd like to ask our guest a question tonight about what you're seeing, please call in. I'll continue to ask questions until we get our first caller. Now, this was on the Olympic Peninsula, I think, from the way you elaborated.
Yes, that is correct.
Are you able to drive right to the crash site?
I really cannot divulge that information as far as where it's located. It is on the west slope of the Olympic Mountains in the state of Washington.
Okay, I think we have our first caller. Caller, go ahead. If you could tell us your name and what city you're calling from.
My name is Eric. I'm calling from Des Moines.
Eric, go ahead.
Yes. My question is, I didn't quite catch the first part of the show, but this is an autopsy of an alien, I understand?
Yes, there was a crash over on the Olympic Peninsula, I think probably late February. I don't know if you heard about it. If you could direct your question to the guest here, would you like to know anything more about the autopsy, or?
Yeah, and they say this is a government publication, sir?
No, yes. This film is actual film footage from the autopsy at the Bangor Naval Air Station. I arranged to have a copy of it smuggled off the base, and I'm now making it available to the general public. My opinion is that it's our constitutional right as American citizens to be able to view such events as they happen.
I agree. Also, what do you think that they've done with the remains of the alien?
The alien autopsy remains, as far as I know, are still on the base at Bangor. There are plans to move them. There have been a battery of tests ran on the aliens themselves, and I am not privy to any of the results of those results.
I see. And one last question: is there a reason why the film was filtered, and it didn't show clarity?
Yes, that's a question that I knew would come up. That film was exposed to high levels of radiation from the actual being itself, and that's the result that happened to the film because of the high levels of radiation.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good question. Very good. Another call we have? No? Line's open. Feel free to call. Pretty fantastic footage we're seeing tonight. I noticed that the texture of the film was very, very different. Very different. I've never seen a film quite the same lighting.
Yeah, like I just explained to the caller, the film was affected by the radiation coming from the alien being, and that's about the only explanation I have for the way it looked, because at the time it was a normal-looking film.
Okay, another caller. Great. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just have one quick question here. I'm just wondering, why does the alien look like a Sears mannequin?
Oh,
very good question. Very good.
Yeah, my response to that would be, this alien had been deceased for over 24 hours at the time of the autopsy, and for some reason unknown to us, biologically speaking, rigor mortis had set in, some form of rigor mortis had set in at a rate we had never seen before, and the body was quite stiffened up by this.
Oh, okay. And my other one is, what did they do with the actual remains of the alien ship?
The actual remains of the alien ship were moved also to the Bangor Naval Air Station. The crash site is still off limits to the general public should they happen upon it, because they're still combing the area for actual debris that could still be there.
And it's funny you should ask that. He did bring in a sample of the interior of the craft, if you could get a picture of this. Could you tell us a little bit about this piece that was found on the craft?
Yes, this piece of material was taken from the crash site. It appears to be an actual part of the spacecraft itself. We cannot tell exactly what it is made of. It appears to be of some type of organic tissue. The craft itself was organic in nature.
It's almost like skin.
So,
yes, it does resemble that.
So they have the technology to fly in ships that are made out of skin?
It's some type of skin covering that appears to be organic in nature, yes.
You said that was on the inside of the craft, though.
It was on the inside of the craft.
So it just could be leather upholstery?
It's definitely not leather.
Or whatever they've got. I mean, I don't think they have cows, do they?
I'm not really sure of that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
Okay,
welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling. Okay, well, these are good questions tonight. Again, wide open line. Nobody's calling. There were some other things found in the craft, too. I might as well bring this out right now. You can all see this. This looks like some kind of a weapon.
Yes, this, as far as we can tell, I can't really tell if it's a weapon or some type of signaling device. It appears to be a weapon. We have tried to open it. We have tried to activate it with power surges, and nothing seems to affect it. We cannot cut into it. We cannot damage it in any way.
Huh, interesting. Really tough construction, too. Oh, another caller. Okay. If you could tell us your name and what city you're in. Hello there. Yes, your name and where are you calling from?
Seattle.
In the Seattle area?
Yeah, name's Paul.
Paul?
I was just wondering, what date did this happen at?
The crash occurred February 27th of this year.
Okay, because I was in the Olympic Peninsula area and saw something, and was probably in that same neck of the woods.
There were a lot of reports.
There were multiple sightings that particular day over all of western Washington, including Lake Washington itself on the east side.
Okay, because I'd never really heard anything on the news about it, but I saw something. But
it's really difficult to get mainstream media coverage of these events.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome for calling in tonight. A lot of people saw that sighting, and this crash is just something that just never made it out. Top secret. Our guest having to smuggle it off the base. and brought it to the show. Producer decided to put it on. Looks like we got some more calls coming in too. What else could you tell us about what was found on the site?
What I would like to do now is there's a lot more footage to see of the actual autopsy itself.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like to get permission to roll another section so we could view it.
Okay. Can we maybe hold the call until after we show the next segment? Will we hold? Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and show another clip here. That is some startling footage. Look, we have doctors, we have them moving around the body, taking measurements. This looks all in line with what a real autopsy really looks like.
Yes, it was definitely a real autopsy.
Were you watching it as they were operating there?
Yes, I was observing the autopsy.
Now, we have a caller on hold. Are you ready to go? Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Des Moines, and my name is Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. I was changing the channel, and I just, perhaps just, noticed it, and I just stopped and was looking at it. I mean, it says, is it real? I mean, is it really real, or this is just one like they have in the, like the newspapers, or just something they want to talk about, or, you know?
I can answer that. This is a real autopsy that took place actually on February 28th of this year of a crash that occurred on the Olympic Peninsula where 2 bodies were recovered.
Yeah, it is real, and that's the name of our show, of course.
Does the president know about this and top secret and federal bureau and stuff like that?
That's a good question. There are actually a lot of things that the president doesn't know. The president is pretty well guarded from some of these black operations that occur within our government.
I see. Because I was looking at the video, and it wasn't in full color screening. It was more like the X screening.
Could you speak up, please?
Can you hear me fine now?
Okay.
Okay. I was looking at the video they were showing about the autopsy, and the video was more like a, what do you call it? More like a X, like to take, it's not a full color video.
Oh, yeah, you're referring to the image, the distortion of the image.
Exactly.
Earlier in the show, I alluded to that. There was radiation levels were very high in that room, emanating from the body itself. And
this is Elizabeth. I have a call. It's for Mr. X from Robert. May we have the line?
Ooh. We've got a
I'm sorry.
If
I'll answer your question. Yes, radiation affected the film.
Are you releasing the line?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should go for the next call.
Yes, we will.
This is
Thank
important.
you.
This
If
might
you
be
put the
coming from
phone down, we'll
White
call
House.
back.
This could be from the White House. Go ahead, caller. We'll accept your call.
I think there's any calls right now.
We thought we had the White House calling. Well, we'll continue to take some calls here. Do we have an open line now? We might have a caller. Ooh.
Yeah, I would like to address one issue that came up earlier. The actual crash site, I was there when we arrived. The first team arrived. One of the alien bodies, the one that the autopsy was performed on, was still alive. It was barely clinging on to life, but it did transmit a message to the entire team, and it was not a verbal message. It was more of a telepathic method, which I should say. And the message was, "We are your gods," and that's the only thing that we could actually derive from the alien itself.
We have another open line here, taking some calls. Well, if this is getting out tonight, this is not going to be top secret very much longer. Oh, we do have a caller. Hello, caller?
Yeah, what is this all about?
Wow, you must have tuned in a little late here. This was an extraterrestrial craft that crashed on the Olympic Peninsula. We lost that caller.
Yeah, he was way off. Open line? We have an open line.
I think now would be a good time to probably show another segment of the film, since we have about, we have quite a bit of time of the autopsy to show. So let's roll some more.
Sure, let's go ahead. Let's show some more. Okay, we have time for a few more callers. I do believe we have a good question on the phone right now. Would you like to go ahead?
Hi.
Hi there.
I was flipping through, and I was wondering, where was this event filmed?
This autopsy was filmed at the Bangor Naval Air Station over on the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State.
Why were Navy officers cutting off a mannequin's skull?
That was an extraterrestrial being.
It was an autopsy.
And it was an autopsy being performed on the beam.
Like an alien mannequin?
No, it wasn't not a mannequin. It had a mannequin-like appearance strictly due to the rigor mortis that had set into the body.
It was pretty stiff when they found it, I hear.
Were the ears pointed?
The ears were not pointed to my knowledge.
And can you say why it was filmed like with looks like infrared?
That was a result of radiation damage to the film.
Huh. And so, now, you're in the Navy, or you were, or?
I am in the Navy, yes.
And what is your capacity as far as?
I really can't divulge that information. My life is in danger for even making this film available.
Okay. How many people? Okay.
Thanks a lot. Okay, we have an open line here. One open line in Seattle. We've got a few more minutes left. Looking for some good questions to pose to us, pose to our guest. We do have one. Okay. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, how come they're using a hacksaw to cut off the mannequin's head instead of a cipher saw that you normally use to open up someone's cranium there?
That's a good question. It does resemble a hacksaw, I do agree. Where this autopsy was performed had to be kept even secret from the remainder of the military base itself. So available tools in that particular room were not of, a lot of them were not of surgical standard. So we used what, it was used what could be found.
Oh, so they used an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, but whatever could be found was used for this autopsy, but it was done by doctors.
I see. Well, that was a pretty good mannequin show there.
Oh, sir, it was not a mannequin, it was real.
Next caller, please. We have a couple more minutes left for some more calls. We've got a call coming in here. As far as the autopsy was concerned, it was very long. We're just showing just small portions of the film.
Yes, the actual autopsy ran approximately 2.5 hours. This was just the first part of it, and I have made available just a short portion of that.
We have another caller. Caller, could you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Kent.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm calling from Kent.
Kent, Washington,
Kent,
go ahead.
Yeah, and, well, my question was actually the same kind of question as the last guy's, a hacksaw and cutting the thing's head off. And the stomach looked like paper. I mean, it just doesn't look really that real. I just don't understand quite the hype on it.
There's no hype on it, sir. The saw that was being used to open the cranial cavity on the extraterrestrial was a surgical saw. It just was not the type of surgical saw that you're used to seeing because the material it was cutting was completely different.
Right.
It was different in density. It was a whole different substance.
Well,
as far as the skin had been subjected to our atmosphere for over 24 hours when the autopsy was performed. It changed it drastically.
Well, it looks like they're pulling Jello out. You really don't get a real graphic impression of any type of an organ. It looks like what was pulled out of the skull was more of a beefsteak or something. It didn't really.
To tell you the truth, we did not find anything in the body cavity that resembled an organ as we know it.
Really?
That's correct.
Okay, so what did you learn from the autopsy?
What we learned from the autopsy is still being calculated. I cannot really release any of the information tonight as far as what we did learn. I can let you know what we didn't learn, which was quite a bit.
Well, what did you not learn? Okay, so you were there, you said.
I was present at the autopsy.
And were there genitals on this thing?
Pardon?
Are there genitals on this thing?
Yes, that will come along further in the autopsy film.
And the thing had 5 fingers and 5 toes.
Actually, it had 6 fingers.
6 fingers?
That's correct.
On both hands?
That's correct.
And in the ears?
It had ears.
Okay, what's the deal with the bigness of the ears? It looks like, I don't know, it almost looks like Princess Leia or something.
I think probably it could hear better with the big ears.
Okay, well, that's probably obvious, but it's just kind of funny. I guess that's about it, but I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate your call.
Thanks.
Okay, we're getting really close to the end of the show. Another 3 more minutes. Can we take another call, do you think?
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, I'd better wrap this up. I'd like to thank our guest for risking his life and appearing on our show. I would also like to thank those of you who called in with questions. Keep watching. Our next show will be Haunted Cars of Bellevue, airing live on Saturday, May 4th at 7:30 p.m. Thank you for watching and keep an open mind.